The story begins in the olden days when a general goblin is accused of treason against the king. The king gets so angry that without thinking anything, he kills his sister to take revenge on Goblin and orders to kill Goblin as well. Goblin killed many people in the war, so after his death, God brings him back to life as a punishment. He gives such a life in which he will have to see his loved ones die. There was only one way to end this punishment. Goblin had an invisible sword in his chest, because of which he died in his previous life. Only Goblin's wife could have taken this sword out of his body. When they fell in love with each other, as soon as the sword came out, Goblin's painful life was saved. In the present scene, it is shown that many years have passed. Goblin is waiting for a girl who can see the stabbed sword in him. One day, when a girl is born in the hospital, we suddenly see a lot of ghosts behind her who were repeatedly saying that Goblin's bride has been born. Years pass, this girl grows up. She had a superpower. She could always see ghosts and talk to them. Today was her birthday. When she was asking for a job for herself, suddenly Goblin comes to her like a ghost and says, "Your wish has been fulfilled. You will get a job in a store." Seeing Goblin, this girl named Yuntak is also excited and says, "You are a goblin, right? I will be your wife. The ghosts have told me all this." Goblin doesn't believe anything she says, because Yuntak couldn't see the sword in his body. Anyway, in the next scene, Yuntak gets a job in a store. And when she remembers Goblin to thank him, Goblin comes in front of her like a ghost. Some time passes, these people talk a lot and become such good friends. Yuntak had now started living in her store. After her mom's death, her aunt whom she lived with was very cruel. After doing the job, when Yuntak doesn't come home, her aunt gets her kidnapped. And in this difficult time, when she remembers Goblin again, this time too, Goblin, like a ghost, goes to save her with his friend. After that, when he goes home, Goblin remembers his old sister, Queen, and his friend, who has the superpower to see the past. He gives him a job that the king who had killed my sister. Tell me, how's he now? Here, Goblin's friend meets Sunny, the owner of Yuntak's store, who started liking him as soon as she saw him. And this is where we also find out that Sunny was Goblin's sister, Queen, whom he was looking for, and his friend was the king who had killed them both. In this scene, we see Goblin and Yuntak talking. Goblin doesn't want to be friends with Yuntak anymore. He had come to say goodbye to her forever. When Yuntak tells him that she can see the stabbed sword in his body, then listen, Goblin stops. He couldn't believe it. He had taken a breath of peace, because now his wait was about to end. Soon, he was about to get rid of this life of punishment. Yuntak was in a hurry to marry Goblin, because she had always been told that Goblin would marry her. Goblin doesn't answer this question, and neither does he tell Yuntak the truth, that he will die after the sword comes out of his body. He leaves here now. Goblin is worried, sitting alone and thinking, what will happen to Yuntak after the sword comes out of his body? Will Yuntak be left alone? On the other hand, Sunny meets Goblin's friend again. Who is doing very strange things, because he is still not able to adjust in this new life. And also he doesn't remember anything about his past, although he can hold everyone's hands and can see their past. Here, Goblin had brought Yuntak to his house to live. where she finds Goblin's old diary in which he had written his sorrows, his punishments, about those people whom he had seen dying in front of his eyes. Yuntak doesn't understand this language. She insists Goblin to take her to lunch, where these people have a good time. Yuntak enjoys it a lot, but Goblin is worried by thinking that he will leave this world soon, and Yuntak will be left alone. Goblin's friend was going somewhere, when suddenly he sees Sunny passing by, and he disappears himself here. I don't know why he didn't want to meet Sunny, and when Sunny is about to fall there, then that boy saves Sunny, but she still doesn't see him. Here, Goblin had decided to leave this world. He had decided that he will now take the sword out of his body. Yuntak was also very excited to take the sword out of his body. Because she felt that he would become a prince if she did so. She didn't know the truth that Goblin would leave this world forever. When she holds him to take out the sword, then she can't hold the sword. That is, this is not the right time to take out the sword. They have not fallen in love with each other yet. Yuntak also understands this, and she forcibly kisses Goblin. Despite doing this, the sword does not come out of his body. He comes with Yuntak to his house, and here his friend tells him that you should tell Yuntak the whole truth, that you have been punished, and after taking out the sword, you will die. But Goblin didn't want to do this, and during these talks, there is a small fight between the two. Yuntak was very happy with Goblin. She had to go to his job now. Goblin had come to drop her to the bus stand. And then Goblin has a vision of an accident, in which he sees that Yuntak is about to die. Without wasting time, he quickly reaches Yuntak and saves her. We see more Death Kings with Goblin's friend near the bus stand, who had come to take the souls of the dying people from here. But Goblin had stopped the accident from happening here. He tells his friend about his visions, to which his friend replies that Yuntak has been staying at our house for a long time. Maybe that's why you saw a vision for her. But Goblin had started getting visions from the future beside her. In another vision, he saw that he would be alone in the future. Yuntak will not be with him. To know the truth of this vision, he meets a lady from another world, who tells him that the more you stay with Yuntak, the sooner Yuntak will die. And now to keep Yuntak alive, Goblin had to leave this world soon. We see that Goblin's friend has told Yuntak the whole truth of Goblin's punishment. He has told her that after Goblin's sword comes out, he will be finished from this world. Thinking that they will be separated forever, Goblin and Yuntak were both crying alone. Now we see that Yuntak has left Goblin's house and doesn't want Goblin to leave this world. That's why she doesn't want to take out Goblin's sword. When Goblin doesn't find Yuntak at home, he gets worried, because he couldn't take out his sword from his body. And neither did he have his lovely Yuntak. Goblin knew that if he stayed alive for too long, Yuntak's life would be in danger. That's why he finds Yuntak and reaches her. But Yuntak behaves with him as if she doesn't even know him. She tells him to leave her life forever. After he leaves, we see that someone attacked Yuntak and she fell down. She was about to die at this time, but Goblin saves her. Here we see Goblin's friend meeting Sunny again. When this boy holds Sunny's hand, he finds out more about Sunny's past and finds out that she is a queen. But he still didn't know that he was a king himself. Now after going home, Goblin starts telling him his past story. where he was a very special man of the king. He was a general. The king liked him a lot. That's why the king married his sister. That's why all the ministers of the king were jealous of Goblin. One day, when Goblin went to war, the ministers of the king instigated him against Goblin. He was called a traitor. That's why the king killed Goblin and his sister. Later, the minister of the king tried to poison the king, but that poison didn't affect the king much. And the day the king found out that his minister had played all these games, and because of his own stupidity, he lost his friend and his wife, he poisoned himself and killed himself. Here Goblin's friend tells Goblin that Sunny was a queen in the past and was Goblin's sister. After knowing this, Goblin becomes very happy and immediately goes to Sunny's store and hugs her. Now Sunny didn't know that Goblin is her brother. She was finding all these things very strange. But Goblin wanted Sunny to remember him. That's why he starts going to her house every day with a gift. These people also tell Sunny that she was a queen in the past and was Goblin's sister. But Sunny doesn't believe them. Sunny says, if this is true, then Goblin must have some proof. Goblin showed her a picture of the queen who was like her. But even after seeing this, she didn't believe that Goblin was her brother. Goblin tells her more about the past and says that you loved me very much. Even when the king asked you if you would stay with me or support your brother, you decided to support me. And that's why the king killed you along with me. After hearing this, Sunny suddenly starts having a heartache and she gets very sick. She didn't fully believe that she was a queen in the past, but she had believed Goblin that he loved her a lot as a sister. In the next scene, Goblin's friend tells Goblin his truth and says that he is a Death King. Here, Goblin's friend Death King gets two death orders. One was for Yuntak and the other was for Goblin. After seeing this, Goblin understands that one of them will have to die. Anyway, Goblin saw Yuntak with another girl in a future vision. He now understood that his and Yuntak's lives were not written together. And now one of them will have to die. During their conversation, Goblin's friend Death King gets the news that a soul is running away from the sky. This soul was the minister of the past, who was actually Goblin's enemy. And now as Goblin's enemy, he has come back to destroy him in the world. After the scene is cut, we are shown the other world's lady. This lady was a fairy mother and she was talking to someone. This man also used to live with Goblin. His truth was that he was actually the biggest death god, and he sent Goblin, King, and all of them back to this world, and he himself was living with them. And this truth was known only to Death God and Fairy Mother. Here, Goblin's friend Death King meets Sunny again and kisses her. By doing this, Sunny remembers everything. She remembers that she was the queen of the king. Before she says anything else to Death King also erases all her memories, so that Sunny does not hate her, thinking that he was the one who killed her in the past. Goblin meets the minister's soul and tries to kill him, but fails. And this soul tells Goblin the truth about his friend, Death King, that he was the king in the past who killed you and your sister. Hearing this, Goblin gets very angry and goes to kill his friend. Goblin wanted to kill him but could not kill him. Because now these two were good friends. Death King was also crying. He was also not understanding why God, sent him as a friend in this world as a punishment. The minister's soul wanted to kill Sunny to take his old revenge. But here, Yuntak, who used to see ghosts, sees this minister and saves Sunny on time. And once her life is saved by her brother Goblin. And in the next scene, Goblin's friend Death King tells him that Yuntak is going to die soon. And to save her life, Goblin himself decides to leave this world. If Yuntak had removed the sword from his body, he would have left this world. But Yuntak was not ready for this. Now the minister's soul comes into Yuntak's body to kill Goblin and take his revenge. But here, Goblin gives him a jerk and takes him out of Yuntak's body. By doing this, his soul turns into fire and dies. And here, Goblin holds Yuntak's hands and takes the sword out of his body and dies. His punishment was now over. After the scene is cut, we are shown a snowy field where Goblin is roaming alone, which means that Goblin's punishment is not over yet. It is his punishment to keep walking here. Death King also leaves this world. And that God, who is living here in his form with him, also leaves here. All the memories are removed from Yuntak and Sunny's minds. Now Sunny and Yuntak were happy as friends. Time flies, and after 9 years, we are shown that Goblin and his friend, who was the king in ancient times, he came back to this world after being punished in the other world. As soon as they came back, they forgave each other. That's why now Goblin goes to Yuntak and Death King goes to Sunny, so that they can spend their lives with them. But now both of them didn't remember anything. Yuntak, who had written a lot about Goblin after Goblin's departure in her diary, she remembers Goblin a little bit when she reads the diary. These people start meeting as friends. And one day comes when Yuntak remembers everything, how she wanted to marry Goblin. And she also took out the sword from Goblin's body. After that, Goblin died. And now he has come back only for Yuntak. She now goes to Goblin without wasting time. And these two are very happy to meet each other. On the other hand, Sunny also sees Death King in the cameras of her store. She also remembers everything. That's why these people also start living together. The story goes a little further, and we know that Sunny has very little time left in this world. That's why she is very sad. But she is sure that she will soon come back to spend a new life with her partner. After Sunny's departure from this world, Yuntak also dies in an accident. And Goblin was also sure that Yuntak would definitely come back to this world for him. Goblin and his friend are left alone in this world again. There comes a day when Goblin's friend's life ends in this world. That is, he dies and finally goes to heaven and meets Sunny again. But Goblin was alone in this world. He didn't even have a friend. Many years passed in this story, and one day Goblin sees his friend and Sunny, who had a new birth again, and they were together in this birth too. He is very happy to see both of them together. But these two didn't remember Goblin. A few more days pass. And there comes a day when Yuntak comes to Goblin crying. That is, she had also got a new life, and they were about to start a new life. And this story ends here by showing this scene.